reality, or VR, is the experience of an environment that doesn't really exist. It's created by a computer device, either a phone, tablet or PC, that enables you to experience and interact with a 3D world. By putting on a head-mounted display and some form of input tracking, it'll create an immersive, believable experience, allowing you to explore the virtual world being generated by the computer. VR has uses both in the home for gaming or simulation programs and in business for things like product design, architecture and medicine. Because the headset sits immediately in front of your eyes rather than at some distance like a monitor screen does, the experience is much more immersive as all of the distracting surroundings are removed. However, this also means that the computer has to deliver much higher resolution images to ensure that the experience is both smooth and consistent. The type of headset chosen, device to support it, and type of environment that you wish to use in VR will all have a bearing on the end result, and this guide will take you through all of these different facets. Now, before we get into the technicalities of how VR works and the elements that you'll need to consider, it's worth mentioning that VR can be created in one of two ways, either standalone using only a headset and controllers, or with a device such as a PC or console, and in some cases just a smartphone. Standalone VR offers great flexibility as the headset is wirelessly connected directly to the internet and an app store or similar where VR applications can be accessed. No external device is required to create the VR environment, although you will need a smartphone or tablet to initially set up the headset on its first use, so your costs are kept to a minimum. There are, however, some limitations, as all the compute power resides in the headset itself. There can only be limited processing power, storage capacity and quality of image, and these may also suffer if the wireless connection isn't consistent or fast enough. PC-powered VR headsets are particularly suitable for high-end gaming. They hold a bigger price tag though, but provide the best image quality, as the experience is mostly determined by the graphics card, also known as the GPU. So higher spec models deliver smoother frame rates and better visual quality. There'll also be much greater processor power and storage within a PC to make more complicated VR environments function well. Plus, you'll have access to many more VR-ready PC applications. A PC-based headset requires a sufficiently powerful PC. The absolute minimum requirements for a VR PC are as follows. For the processor, you'll need at least an Intel Core i5 or an AMD Ryzen 5 or greater. For memory, you'll need 8 GB of RAM or more. The minimum operating system is Microsoft Windows 10. And for your GPU, we'd recommend at least a mid-range graphics card for this, examples of which you can see on screen now. You should also check before purchasing a VR headset that your PC has suitable in and out ports. Some of the latest VR headsets offer the best of both worlds, being able to operate without a PC, but also having the ability to be connected to one via an additional cable to create the more powerful environment. For information on the headsets that are available to buy right now in 2020, then check out our buyer's guide, which we've linked in the description. So how does VR work? Well, at its core, VR technology has only one purpose: to simulate settings and environments realistically enough to fool the human brain into accepting them as reality. From a scientific standpoint, that all begins by understanding how our brains interpret the things we see to develop a mental picture of the world around us. Put simply, our perception of reality is based on rules we develop using our experiences as a guide. For example, when we see the sky, it tells us which direction is up. When we see objects we can use their size relative to one another to judge distance. We can also detect light sources by picking up on the shadows cast by the objects around us. VR designers can use those conventional rules to create virtual environments that conform to our mental expectations of reality. And when they do, the result is a seamless experience that we interpret as real. The VR display is created when a video signal is sent to the headset display. VR headsets tend to use two LCD or OLED displays like this, one for each eye. These lenses sit between your eyes and the screen and then create a stereoscopic 3D image by angling the two 2D images, which mimics how each of our two eyes views the world ever so slightly differently. These two images and wraparound nature of the headset combine to increase immersion by delivering a wide field of view. Most headsets will deliver a 100 to 110 degree field of view, which is wide enough to mimic reality, although it's essential to ensure the displays are of significantly high enough frame rate. For the resulting picture to be at all convincing, a minimum frame rate of around 90 frames per second is recommended. This keeps the movement fluid and without stutter that could cause motion sickness. Tracking is one of the most important parts of VR as it's the key to making the experience feel as real as possible. Head tracking means that when you wear a VR headset, the picture in front of you shifts as you look up, down, side to side or angle your head. A system plots your head in terms of your X, Y and Z axis to measure head movements forward and backwards, side to side and shoulder to shoulder, otherwise known as pitch, yaw and roll. Head tracking technology needs low latency to be effective. 50 milliseconds or less is needed so that you don't detect the lag between when you turn your head and when the VR environment changes. PC-powered headsets currently either offer base station tracking or inside-out tracking. Base station tracking offers the overall best experience. The base stations are placed at either corner of your VR space, and these then track your movement within that space. This offers the highest accuracy of tracking as it covers 360 degrees, so even if you put your hands behind your back, it won't be affected. Of course, having base stations means that you'll need a dedicated space where these can be installed or set up, and they do come in with a heftier price tag. In contrast, inside-out tracking uses a series of cameras on the headset along with sensors on the controllers. The cameras scan your environment and you then manually create a play space which you must stay within. This system is the newest option and it's really easy to set up with added portability. Generally the tracking is good, but it does have some limitations as it's not 360 degrees. To interact with a virtual environment, you need an input device. This can be a keyboard, mouse, joystick or gamepad, or most commonly, handheld controllers. Typically, greater input and flexibility is gained when using controllers as they allow features such as haptic feedback, offering a sense of touch or texture within the VR space. Controller or hand actions allow the user to interact with the VR environment created, opening doors, selecting or manipulating items, or selecting from menus. The level of control needed will very much depend on the use case of the VR environment. Most headsets include spatial or 3D audio capabilities. That means that they contain speakers that deliver sound in line with your head movement to make the VR environment as realistic as possible. It's also possible to connect external headphones to the headset too, if this is your preferred choice. In terms of VR equipment, usually the headset and controllers are supplied in a kit with a number of other accessories such as charging cables, adapters and batteries, plus elements like a glasses spacer to move the headset away from the face slightly to accommodate those who wear spectacles. Additional nose pads or face pads may also be available to enable some customization of the headset fit too. If you're looking at a standalone headset, then you should consider battery life versus how long you intend to play for. Additional backpack-style battery packs can also be added to most standalone headsets. Then, to make sure you have everything you need to be up and running as soon as you get your hands on your headset, it's important to check that you have the right cables, especially if you're looking to power your headset via a PC, so always check what comes in the box. Base stations, link boxes and stands may also be required dependent on your VR setup and preferences. And if you want to be able to transport your VR kit safely, then you may also want to consider a carry case. It's worth mentioning at this point that if the headset is to be used in a commercial environment, meaning a business rather than at home, a commercial license may be needed to operate a VR headset. So do check the usage licensing of any headset that you're considering purchasing. But to be certain, commercial versions of some of these headsets are available. And if you're going to opt for a PC-powered VR setup, then remember Scan offer a range of 3XS VR-ready pro gaming PCs pre-spec, fully built and ready to go. These cover a variety of budgets, but each guarantees that you'll have a great VR experience. So we hope you found our beginner's guide to VR helpful. If you've still got any questions, feel free to drop them below or get in touch with one of our friendly team. And if you're in a position to now buy your first VR headset, then make sure you check out our buyer's guide. We've popped the link below and you'll find it on our YouTube channel. And of course, give us a cheeky like and make sure you subscribe so you don't miss out on even more tech videos.